What's going on is the Wolf, and we back with another episode of The Couch. And I'm extremely excited today because I'm going to be joined by one of Philly's most prominent and successful serial entrepreneurs. He goes by the name of Will Walker, and he's the CEO and founder of the Bandy Peru franchise. So don't go nowhere because when we come back, we're going to be bringing them out right after the Wolf books. And yeah, that's going to be one for the books. I already know it is, man. The Wolf has spoken. Let's get it. See y'all soon. I told y'all we was going to be joined by a very special guest, a good friend of mine, very long time friend. So without further ado, I want to take this time to introduce Mr. Will Walker, the CEO and founder of the Bandy Peru franchise. What's up, bro?
What's up, my guy?
Oh man, the man himself. Appreciate you.
Good.
Oh man, so like, I always tell people at the very beginning of these discussions, like, I like for it to be like we having a conversation at grandma's crib. Like, I don't, interviewee, but not too interviewee, you know what I mean? I wanted to be just more so of a discussion, right? So in this initial segment, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know about you, right? But I framed this segment the art of the hustle, because I feel like you're a hustler, so I had to pick a title that fit you. So tying it back to your childhood, when did you discover that you was a hustler?
We can cuss?
Yeah.
Shit. I started back in 05, right? We had shell tops in school, and some just told me like they never had a pair of gold shell tops, so I went to the store, spray paint them Jones. Came to school, everybody like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, you give me your white Jones. I started selling $20, $25, $30. People was wearing the Jams, Elmwood, Super Sunday, No School Monday. So it was like, all right, now I have something that I can get a hold to. Following up, 2006, I was working at Kendrick Family and Soul on 51st in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I was known for destroying jeans, like Distress.
Yeah.
This when the True Religion wave was out, and I was only like 15, but I was running up. We had Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, Floetry. They would come in, and I was just designing them, splash paint on them, and I was like rolling. Around that time, I had gotten into some trouble as a kid, so I was put away for like 2 years. So I kind of like lost the wave. I came home. When I went away, we was wearing Abercrombie Hollister. Then I came home, everybody was wearing Rockstar shit.
So what year you came home?
This was 08.
08, that was in the midst of like the party scene. I mean, for our generation, the Rockstar. That's when we had groups like, what were they called? Dang.
I was in OC, Fire Nation.
Yeah, you had, but it was a specific group that was catered towards Rockstar. I felt like they'd be throwing all the bowling parties. Ambush. They'd be throwing all of the
they had a joint at American, they had Starlight.
Starlight used to be crazy. What was that, 9th and Spring Garden?
Yep, and we had
or 8th,
Blue Horizon.
Blue Horizon, 1310,
923. Yeesh.
So look, so thinking about it, so when you went away and you said you came home and it was different, what was that, for one, what was that process like being away? And what was you sent away for if you don't?
I was just disobedient, like bad, stealing, fighting, getting into like crazy dumb shit that you do as a teen, but my parents thought I was like really destroying my path. Like,
right.
So before it got too crazy, I was put away. I thought about it. You know, I come from a abusive background, you know, mom on drugs and stuff like that. So growing up from North Philly, shout out North, growing up in North, it was like kind of different. I never was in the school like smelling like dirty or nothing like that. It was just like, where's the father figure? And then once me and my father connected, I guess he didn't know how to be a parent because I wasn't really around my mom, you know. Not saying my mom was bitter, but she didn't really want me around him, or whatever the case may be. Finally got around him. It's like, my dad's a Christian, now he's a deacon, right? Yeah. So it was like, who the fuck is this, like, who the fuck is this man telling me what to do? But it was like, I remember he banged my head because I didn't want to eat. I took the hot dogs out the beans. I'm like, I'm not used to this. Like, I don't get a hot dog, get beans. But it was like, growing up, trying to get a relationship with my dad, it was like different. So I had like a lot of rebellion. I felt like, where were you at these whole 9 years? Yeah. You can't just try to pop back in and then
try to parent me.
So I was like real bad and crazy. But as far as like fashion and shit like that in the school, I was known for the nigga that get dressed and fight. That was just that. Or the funny, I would always bid. Like I would always find something to bid, all shit. But that's how I started, basically.
I was going to say, because you had said a lot that I wanted to tap into. So, and this is a question about your parents, right? With your dad being a deacon or whatever the case may be, and your mom having that background, how did they connect? Like, was this something that she transitioned into? Or?
So they met at, my mom went to Kappa.
Okay.
My dad went to Kappa too. He could sing and she could sing. So whatever how that happened. I'm like, well, what made y'all two like connect?
Right.
She was like, he was in my singing class, and honestly, she told me she was about to get abortion. So I always tell her, like, I thank you for not doing that. You feel what I'm saying? Because like you brought something to this world that
You was called, for sure.
It was amazing. So I always tell her like that, because she said at the age, I think she was 18, she couldn't handle it. You feel what I'm saying? My grandma had just died, so it was just like her out here in the world. And you know, however the thing may go, my dad married my stepmom back in like '99, and me and my stepmom like this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Me and her like this. Me and her, we cool, but she will always have my back if I'm bad in school. You know, she don't really believe in chastising a child because she's Christian too. But some things, you know, me and my dad, I know that he did a lot to protect me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm his only child. So that's how that went.
So going back to even the beginning days of you coming home now, back in the 923 days and all that, you came home as a whole new regime. You had to adjust, you had to adapt, but you still was able to create a buzz for yourself.
Yeah, so people will write me, like my family and them will write me, give me calls. Before I had got sent away, I had did a trolley ad for a trolley for the culture shop, and I always pop that up on like a Throwback Thursday. Like, I've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
So people like, yo, Will, they had me on MySpace, like, yo, you know, we saw you when we was leaving the school and you was at the 15th Street Stop trolley. And I'm like, I couldn't really take or experience that limelight or that MySpace light, but it's like soon I came home, I started working with my man Mills. We used to do Mosca. So it used to be me, him, Oof, Sai, Zay. We used to be bleaching shirts and putting the scars. It was running that scar away, but for some reason I drifted off. My 11th grade was crazy. I went to Upper Darby, Ben Franklin, Delaware Valley, and I finally went to PET. I'm like, bro, let me just chill, cause
Why
like
you go to so many schools though?
I was coming here taking over shit, like just from the gun bus, like, and I guess motherfuckers couldn't handle it. It was like, who is this nigga? Actually, the crazy part about it is how me and you met. You know me, a shit talker, right? This man, you came to my job. You like, yo, let me holler at you. I'm behind the register, like, huh? You like, I just want to holler at you, bro. You like, yo, I don't got no issue with you, but there's no reason why my name is in your mind. I'm like, bro, we going to. Back in the day, we used to talk shit on the tapes, the party tapes, about, oh, our party gonna be hot, da-da-da-da. I'm like, this motherfucker had the balls to tell me, and mind you, I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to get fired. Like, I'm in the working in a gallery was clutch around that time. So I'm like, you know what? I can respect the fact that you came, you didn't come with your crowd, and it was like, all right, cool. So ever since then, and it's like, '09, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see each other and it was like all love from there.
Yeah, it's funny that you, Eric, I remember, it's crazy because you have reminded me about that. You're like, yo, remember you came to my job, and then once you said it, I said, I did. It wasn't the, what was the name of that? Was it
Cinnabon.
Yeah. Yo, but for me, I'm gonna be real at the time, like, I didn't understand that world of like, yeah, you could just go talk some shit about somebody and then it just be there. I'm thinking like, yo, like what? I don't know this nigga. Why he? You mean? And then I thought that you ain't like me, so I just wanted to. You mean? But it was funny because every time I look back on that, I'd be like, yo, we really came a long way. And then we became great friends from there. And then to kind of find out we the same sign, and it's like now you somebody that I look at. That like since then I knew who you was, and you still here. You done did so much different stuff. Since then you knew who I was, and since then up until this point I was able to do so much stuff. So many people don't even know we go that far back. They just see it like, oh, they probably they both influencers. They probably just.
What's that, almost 12, 13 years?
Yeah, bro, this was like 13 years ago. How many businesses did you start in your life?
So off paperwork, I started candy apples, fucking cell phone cases. This before I knew about LLC. So I'm in Cheney, and I'm like, it's some way I'm gonna make bread, because I'm not, me personally, I wasn't catching the 120 every day to go find a job and none of that. So I was selling cell phone cases, candy apples, fucking fish bowls with water ice. It was like a hustle. So I'm like, let me just put that to a side. The year that I graduated was like 2015. Around this time I was working at CNA, and I was doing CNA at nighttime, and I was doing assistant teaching in the daytime at Elwyn.
The jack of all trades for real.
Yes, I was trying to make money. I had a little one, so
we're gonna talk about that too.
I'm like, all right, let me just see what this clothes shit like. My homie, I wanted to do a boutique in the beginning. Because around that era, that's when boutiques was on the rise, but nobody was catering to the men.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just try this out real quick. He like, no, well, I think you should do a clothing line. I'm like, bro, everybody got a clothing line. He said, yeah, but everybody ain't gonna think how you think.
Yeah,
so I'm
for
like,
sure.
you know what? Give me a name, something that means something different. So he came back, I say like 2 hours later. It was like Benny Pool Paris. I'm like, huh? I'm like,
So somebody else came up with the name.
yeah. So shout out to my mans. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, what do Benny mean? So I looked it up in French. It means to be an outcast. You never fit in fashion. Like you make a bold statement. So that's why I got guys walking around with a pink bubble coat or bell-bottom jeans for real that just stacked up. So like you make a statement. When you see Benny, you know that you gonna say, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's something that's gonna catch your eye. So it's like that was the first business. Second business was the dog line. Benny Paw rule, right? I lived in Atlanta. People treat their dogs as if it was kids, right? So I did a spinoff. I said, okay, let me open a restaurant. Got the restaurant business. I feel like if you got clothing, you can have a restaurant. When people come to me from like different states, they say, yo, you know any place where we can go eat at? And I always tell them to go to my folks, restaurant, but come to mine. Now you got a reason to come to mine. You take a 2-hour drive or 3-hour drive just to get a coat or some jeans. Like I told you, you're not just gonna come up here for that. You're gonna want to get a feel of the city. Went from there, I started a decor company. Decor company is a way that release my creative mindset and for me to really expand. Me living in Atlanta for 6 years, their decor is crazy. So it's like we don't have that in Philly. Now we do. I've seen a lot of people that's great, but it's like, let me see what I could do and tap in. And I got booked 2 celebrity parties. I did Tiana Teller, I did Little Key, rest in peace Little Key, did his John, and really just start in the motions of things. And it's like, all right, now you got 5 LLCs under your belt, so just keep it going.
So it's crazy, because again, you said a lot. I was going to ask you what made you stop the businesses, but it's never necessarily they stop. You just kind of been pivoting. But you was able to gain, that bubble coat you dropped was able to gain a lot of traction. And I seen, like, you used to have, like, lines wrapped around the block, celebrities wearing your stuff, Fab, Tiana Teller, different people. Like, so what was that experience like, starting from somebody that was painting shell tops gold, getting put away, to now not even wanting to do a fashion line, but just a fashion boutique, but now seeing the success of it? Like, what did that feeling feel like?
I mean, still to this day, it's crazy because I had a conversation with Tiana, who's one of my close friends now. Like, I can call her FaceTime. I'm like, yo, I need advice, or she'll get right with me. She says too, right? So it's crazy how shit works. I had a bucket list of three celebrities. And now marketing wise, I say New York is a fashion capital. I need to hit Cardi, I need to hit Fab, and I need to hit Tiana. That happened in a matter of like 20 days. Fab hit me up like, yo, I need this coat done in green for Christmas. And everybody know Fab do a Christmas photo shoot. So I'm like, all right, I'm in my mindset, I'm like, cool. Hit the manufacturer up, they did it. I ain't heard nothing else after. I got his address, sent it to him. Christmas night, my phone like going crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm pulling over, I'm thinking something happened.
Right.
They're like, yo, Fab in your coat, bro, Fab in your coat. And it was a Christmas photo of him and his family. I'm like, damn. So it brought more New York traffic to me. So it was like, this shit really happening. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like you just said, sitting here painting shell tops or spray painting shell tops to, now I could hit him up like, yo, I got something for you. And Fab charged people. Fab ain't never charged me, right? He said if it's fire, I'm gonna wear it. If it's not, I ain't gonna fuck with it, right? Now, on the flip side of Tiana, she told me, like, in this industry, folks are like, they don't really try to help. So I sat down with her and like, this is what you do. We're gonna talk to the manufacturer. We're gonna set it up. It's for Junie's clothing line, which is her daughter. I was able to, she said, anything you ever need from me, I got you. You made sure that my daughter is eating off, off a plate. So it was like, we had the connection. She surprised me. She was supposed to come to the fashion show back in 2020. I looked on the projector. She like, shout out to Benny Peru, you my brother, I love you, I'm proud of you, you keep going. So it was like a person I used to stand in line for to get an autograph that's telling me that she loves me and like, appreciate me. But last year she had a New Year's party. She called like, yo, I want to book you. You got a new business, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I want to book you to decor my New Year's party. Sat at the table, we taking a champagne glass, counting down to 12 o'clock. So it was like, damn, you went from a fan to a friend, but I'm still a friend because she's an entertainer.
Right.
When she hit me with the design in her tour merch for her dancers for the concert. I'm like, damn, this shit really full circle. So anything that I could ever picture or imagine, the day I woke up and I saw a Future video and everybody was in Benny Peru coats, it was like, damn. When Gunna had reached out, you know, to do the title concert, it was like, damn. So everything, the resume is there. It's just like, I ain't expect this shit to happen, honestly.
And I want to tap more into that, but before we get more into it, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and we'll see y'all back in a quick second.
Business, or if you're starting one and need a logo, flyer, or any marketing designs, no need to look any further. Your vision is safe with me. Tell me all your crazy ideas and concepts, and I'm here to bring your business to life. Wait, there's more. So, I recently just launched a website where you can purchase and generate your own clothing mockups. It's super easy. All you have to do is simply select your template, customize it with the color, images, and text. And if you're looking to create a design a little more detailed, I definitely do custom designs as well. So if you're ready to get started and learn more, check out my portfolio, contact me via email or Instagram, and we can get started.
Before we cut to a commercial break, you was talking about kind of how it being a surreal feeling of being able to look up. So it brought me to want to know and ask when the Future thing came about, like, cause like it's good to think that everything was strategic, but is everything strategic or is some of it just like falling in your lap?
It fell in my lap. So situation was somebody who was one of his BMs, she blocked me, right? And I'm like, that was weird because she deals with clothes too. And we always around the Jada Waiters, the Arrogant Tays, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait a minute. So what I do, I hit up Bobby Wesley, who's Future stylist. I DM'd him, I'm like, yo, if you ever need, you know, a pull or something, these are my coats, this is my brand. Mind you, I took a nap. I woke up to a DM like, I need those coats by tomorrow. Now, this is for being a good person. You know, everybody love you, everybody fuck with you. I had none of them coats, none of them, right? So what I do, I go to my emails and I hit up customers that bought the coats. I'm like, I know this might sound crazy, but can I please buy this coat back from you? I need it for a good reason. They was like, no, I'll just give it to you. When you're done with it, you give it back. I said, listen, when some coats drop, I'm gonna reach out and get back to you. Bro, I had to wait. I was living in Atlanta at the time. So I had to get them my account number and let them next day those coats to me. So the coats finally got there. I'm looking behind the BTS of Bobby Wesley. I'm like, all right, they probably ain't using. Mind you, this happened in the beginning of December. January 4th, 2019, it was like 4 in the morning, my phone like ringing. I'm thinking somebody passed in Philly. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, yo, that's your coat in Future video. So you know me, I already had my caption in my notes. You feel me? Had my caption in my notes. I went to sleep peacefully. I said I'd wake up in the morning and let this shit go viral. From on there, it's been like, yo, it's crazy. Da da da. Honestly, I did my first fashion show back in 2018, and I think I was like 4 months in the game. I had Claremont Twins, they hosted it. This was when they was on the rise of the Yeezy thing. Dreamed I was up and coming. She was, her song, Talk to Me Nice, was buzzing in New York. Bro, I'm in the fitting room in the back, everybody doing their hair and makeup, and I'm just stressed out, mind you. I had like a fucking bump, a razor drawn, because I couldn't find a barber. I was trying to trim my mustache. Now I understand why, you know, our culture don't use razors on our face.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? They like, yo, Thug and Gunna at the door. Mind you, I didn't know who Gunna was at the time.
Right.
So I'm like, who? They like, nigga, Young Thug and Gunna. I'm like, y'all lying. So, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, I had the fashion show in this crazy ass place in New York, but it wasn't like, the budget wasn't there, so I made it do what it do.
Right.
I come to the door, Gunna was like, Thug was like, we not getting searched. And I said, let them in. So it was like 20 of them. Whoever was in the front row, I'm like, he was like, no, we'll move. That's da-da-da-da. He like, I came here for free, right? I'm like, yeah. He like, just let me make sure that my entourage get 20, at least we all get a coat. It was like 20 of them. So I'm like, damn, what? But you came for free. You made, like, that shit went so viral. Yeah. It was like, they was there, sitting in the front seat, he was smoking his L. And he gave my flowers. He said, listen, you got something great going on. keep it going, don't stop.
Yeah.
Like he said, he saw so many people come in the game, whereas though they got clothing lines and they just stopped.
Yeah.
So from there, it just was like, all right, bet. I always was connected, you know, with them. Shout out to Zoe Dupree, he from Philly. I always made sure I was connected, and just in the loop and the limelight of, you know, putting that shit on people or putting on celebrities or however it may come.
You had spoke about the Atlanta decor and then like not having that in Philly and then like kind of wanting to bring that. So I was curious as to what made you come back from Atlanta to Philly. Like, was that a part of the mission?
No, honestly, my shit is still in Atlanta. I'm still paying rent there, and I ain't been there since like October. So what happened was, hair was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like the store made millions, and
Yeah.
I was able to trust the people in the store. So my focus was to get the restaurant open. Now the restaurant it's different from a clothing store. You got to get this license and this paperwork, this zoning, and it was like, all right, bet. Got that in the midst of me doing all this. I was traveling the world, just enjoying life. I was working too hard, right? And as a communication major, I'm like, all right, I know how to brand. So let me go to every club or lounge in Philly to show my face so that people could feel like, okay, he could party with us and whatever you thought I'm bougie, Hollywood, because I heard a lot of shit. It was like, no, I'm a regular person. I'll dance if I need to, but I'm not going to be trapped in.
You're going to dance for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to be trapped in a house because I'm here and I'm scared of something that may happen.
Right.
So go out, the club owners, they like, yo, we got Will here, da-da-da-da. And I was just spending, right? I did a carnival for the kids here. Shit went crazy. It was like, you know, I gave back. God told, somebody DM me, Just Morgan, she do the horoscopes. She DM'd me and said, this one is personally for you. And I was like, huh? She like, before I posted, God told me to send this to you. It says something like, take a break. But I'm like, okay, you know, I ain't really paid no mind. I'm like, I believe in horoscopes. I'm like, okay, cool. I talked to my friend Benicia, Nene. I'm like, Nene, that girl told me take a break. And she was like, should you? I'm like, yeah, maybe I need some time off because I'm trying to open this restaurant too fast. I lied to you not. I go in the store, me and my assistant, we playing around. I was supposed to meet Nah from Stocked Up. We was about to do a collab. I never made it out the door. We playing around, I slipped on an inventory packet. I broke my leg and my ankle off a fucking piece of plastic, right? So I'm like, when it happened, mind you, I was on live when I broke it. I'm like, damn, my leg, my ankle. I get there, I'm like, all right, they probably just, soon when I got there, I had like blacked out because the first thing they asked me, would you like to take a vaccination shot? And I'm like, miss, get the fuck out this room. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I woke up, they like, you gotta get a pole, you gotta get a rod, a plate, and 6 screws. So I'm like, huh? I never knew that people can have metal in their body.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I want to do it the regular way. They was like, it may not heal properly. So I'm like, God, I should have just listened. And I just was like, laying in the hospital bed crying because I'm like, I was disobedient.
Let me ask you this. You feel like this was like one of the hardest things you had to overcome?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It made me a stronger person. It made me think, right? During this time, I couldn't walk. Shout out to Ponds and they held it down. They had did a whole video and inventory and was shipping out shit from online, things that I was preparing them, for whatever reason, I was showing them how to do it. So I didn't have to worry about none of that online stuff. Everything was still in the rotation. But I got to know who was really a friend or who was really supposed to be around, who was around for the glitz and the glams. I got addicted to perks. And I didn't even see it coming. Is for like when your leg is broken, you have metal, the flesh is like pinching and it's starving. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, it took the pain away. But as it still was in a healing process, it was, you know, at this point I was in a boot. And I'm taking perk 30s like crazy, right? And we had went to this Philly versus Baltimore party last year. And as I'm getting out the car, at least like 10 pills dropped. So I look at my security, I'm like, bro, why the fuck would you drop it? And he like, I think my friends and them had a conversation because they like, he got to get off of it, right? So I go in the house and I wake up and I'm like, I started like crawling up and down the joint, up and down the bed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was like something was trying to come out of me, and I was like, wait a minute. Then I threw up. I said, you going through withdrawal. I called my sister. She like, well, I'm gonna call you back. She knew, right? She like, well, I'm about to come over. You about to jump in the shower. I'm taking your keys. You cannot leave out the house, because I would have found some way to get them. That was one of the hardest things, I think, as me, and I think a lot of people go through it, they not going to speak on it. Nobody would never say, oh, Will Walker's on perks, right? Because it's not the illusion that I give you. But it took a while for me to speak about it, because it's like everything in life was so perfect. You feel what I'm saying? Like anything I ever wanted or needed or I could buy, I could do for myself. I never really had to, like, you know what I'm saying? Once I got off, I'm like, all right, that was a relief. I'm like, I'm opening this restaurant. The city was open back up June 10th of last year. Did the grand opening, still kind of like going through my phases because the restaurant world was different. I had people still like crazy. It was just something that was new for me. So
tap into that though, like people, cause I've seen you speak about that on your platform, and just like how that was such an awakening moment, just that whole journey, and you feel like it was to reveal these things to you. So when the people was doing these things, I don't know, what did it do for you as a businessman or a business owner? Like, what's your trust?
Man, that made me like really be on hands. I try to be the one that's sitting in the back, like, I'm gonna let you do your job, but I don't have to be like up on you. So when I was catching left or right, it was like, I'm not I don't have no excuses, because I was paying you very well. I was paying you more than what the Frisco's might have paid certain things, but it was like, you live and you learn, and sometimes you can't always try to please your culture, please your people. So me being in a restaurant, it was like, it was draining. For 5 months behind the scenes, I was a chef. Nobody knew. The food was selling. It was like, all right, I'm cutting costs. And I was paying motherfuckers $40 an hour just to cook, but it was just like they're lazy, right? They couldn't handle the pressure. And before I always interview somebody, I said, can you handle pressure? Cooking inside a restaurant is different from cooking in your house for like 5 to 6 people. You gotta make sure that shit is like, you running it, and it was like, oh, there's no system here. I'm like, you run the system, it's your kitchen, what are you talking about? So I'm like, let me get back there. So it was days, I ain't gonna lie to you, it was days I was in that bitch crying, cause my leg still swell up if I'm standing on it too long. So I was in the back, you know, and then I'm like, yo, I can't do this no more. I felt like I brought something to the city that was different. One, I'm the only black-owned karaoke spot in Philadelphia. You may have a TV with words, but I had physical rooms where people can go and have their time. People from all over used to come there. But it was like, I wanted to move my location. You feel what I'm saying? I know what type of crowd I want to attract. And I'm not saying the crowd that they came, because they helped me grow tremendously and the business was doing good. It was just, I was tired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When a person is tired, it's like, all right, I can't do this shit no more. It was 2 of the girls. One was doing hookah, one was doing serving. But we was a team and we was rocking it out.
Right.
And I had went to look at a building on 19th and Chestnut, and he was like, the rent was $13K. I'm like, cool, but it gave me a liquor license. You could make that off easy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, the culture is down here. I'm like, we got the, you know, the Caucasians. You can run $1 million up off a beer, right? But then the guy in the building said no hookah. Now I said that doesn't make sense, because a known hookah spot is down the street. I'm not gonna say what it is. Hookah spot is down the street, so it just didn't make sense. So ironically, I had a consultation with one of my clients to do. I'm doing a wedding ceremony.
You doing the decor?
Yeah, I'm doing decorating their wedding ceremony, so we had to talk about it.
I'm sitting here I'm like, he's chef. He was doing he do decorations. He got the line. I'm like, yo, what don't you do? Like, that's the true Sag in you.
Right, it's a hustle, right? So my man Will, like, yo, go run according to this hookah spot. And then the hookah spot, I saw it. It's called Arabian Nights. It was, you know, open for like 2 months. Went in there, was nobody in there, right? God works in mysterious ways, because mind you, I closed the restaurant on Tuesday. This is Thursday. So I talked to, they were like, the hookah girl, like, can you talk to the owner? I'm like, for what? She like, we just need something in here. So I'm like, all right, I'll talk to him. So I'm gonna ask me and him talking. I said, he's like, what could you do for my business. I need something. He's like, I'm in the line, like I'm older. Like, what can you do? I'm like, well, I'm not no host or no promoter, so I'm not waking up every day saying we gonna be here and this, that. We want to talk business, we can talk business. So we talked business, came to agreement. The paperwork needs to change. My name needs to go Benny Peru, Arabian Nights, and that's how it worked. And it's kind of crazy because when we opened, you know, the day that I opened, you could see like his whole face was like he wanted to cry. He was happy. He like, yo, how?
You saved the business.
Yeah, I'm like, it was God, bro. Like, it was God. I brought my girls in, they had held me down, and we just been rolling ever since. Like,
I seen that, and you said you wasn't gonna do a grand opening. You kind of just said skip the ribbon.
Y'all know, because the crazy thing about it is, folks that really are true, folks that really fuck with me, like the real get money niggas in the streets, the old heads, the pretty bad females that's really getting at it. They was like, yo, we can't come to 60th Street. We're not coming to Hood. One, it's too many things was happening on 60th Street. But I just chose to stay there because it was like, let me just rock out. Bro, so my homie Kadar, I didn't see Kadar in 10 years flash. Kadar walked in, I said, I thought I was seeing, he's like, are you downtown now? What's up, Brody? So it's like, for me to bring him out, Kadar don't come out of nowhere, right? And it was like, all right, that was good. I started to see, you know, like Jersey right there. I was meeting people, some girl came to me, it's like, I always wanted to meet you. Yeah. And I was like, well, hey, you know, we talking. She was like, I thought you could be like, I'm like, no, I'm down to earth. But you want to drink or something? Right. But it was just like, it's so decent to see, you know, folks that support me from, I feel good when I see somebody walk on my restaurant or lounge with a Benny Peru sweatsuit, because like, it's carrying over. Now you go into this phase is, now that I have a break and I'm back, me and the manufacturer been on the phone like, what's up? You feel what I'm saying? But in the midst of that, I still was able to help others. I did a class, Zoom class. I had 89 students build a brand. Yeah. We was on there for like 5 hours because it was so good, and we was like, Right. People that started their brand, they then got samples already. So it's like, and I called my manufacturer to make sure, you know, like, I ain't no nut ass nigga. I ain't gonna give you somebody off the loophole and say that's who I use. I'ma really work with it because it's brand. And at the end of the day, and when I'm giving him clients, he give me discounts off my shipping, off my, you know, off my inventory and stuff like that. So it was like, all right, I feel good that I'm back. The other day I woke up, I was like, all right, what I want to do? Do I want to go to ice cream? Do I want to walk my dog? Yeah. But having that mind frame of running to the Restaurant Depot, being frustrated, like, all right, where the fuck is the hot sauce aisle and shit like that? It's like, Will Walker is back, right? So I want to ask you 3 key takeaways from that restaurant business that you feel like going to propel you moving forward. But we're going to cut to another commercial break, and we're going to finish where we left off when we come back. So, about the restaurant, and the reason I want 3 key takeaways because I feel like out of all of the businesses you had, that seemed like the one, I can't say that was the most challenging because I'm not behind the scenes, but based on what you was going through with this restaurant, it seemed like it was a challenge for you. It was, man. You got the haters who keep calling LNI, trying to get me shut down. Good thing I'm connected to folks in LNI, so it wasn't like anything that I needed to get on, I got it done. Right. It was a situation where they almost put a sticker on my door, and
what, one of them orange Jones?
Not the orange Jones. That's the 15 they had. It was the red and white one. But I was like, whoa, what I need to do before y'all put it on here? They're like, you need to go downtown. And it's crazy how God works because that Saturday, mind you, the municipal building don't open on Saturdays, but it was a date I had up to that Saturday to get it done. I went in there. One of the security was like, hey, you was in here the other day. They had gave me the wrong license. She was like, you was in here the other day. The lady wanted to speak to you, but you left out so fast. Now, mind you, I had one of them masks that you pull over and you can only see your eyes. Yeah. So I'm like, I took it off. There was like some lady with green dreads or whatever. So she was like, oh my God, Benny Peru, I wanted to speak to you. She was like, I always support you. I want to get down to the restaurant, but I can't. I said, miss, this is the reason why I'm here. Now, mind you, you need to get a ticket and have an appointment. We was like 10 minutes left before they closed. And I was able to get my
Is it because she knew you though? That's what it was?
She knew of me. Yeah. But it was like, yeah. So I say being you have some owners that's just nasty. Like, you get your money up and, you know, they feel like they're entitled to make you look smaller, which to me is the dumbest move that you could ever make, because those people are the reason you are, without God, those folks are the reasons you are who you are, because they're supporting you. They're making sure that your products sell. They're making sure that, you know, that you basically living a life that you wish for.
Right.
But it was like always something at the restaurant.
Right.
Either it was out of trash bags, oil, we didn't have this, and it's like nobody is on top of the game. And it's like, as an owner, I was just supposed to walk in and do a walkthrough, say hi. It was like I was in Restaurant Depot. I was doing this, I was doing that. Bathroom would get clogged. The lights wasn't working. The air or something, the heat. It was just always something. Versus clothes, like we out of stock, right?
Right. So many, because there's so many different elements to a restaurant, like a kitchen itself, and then like dealing with the whole. And it's such a fragile business, because 1 or 2 bad reviews on the food could turn off 1,000 people. Where though somebody could say they don't like a jacket and they just don't gotta wear the clothes, but if somebody be like, that food not that.
See, but this is me marketing. I never put my restaurant on Google. You're not about to play with me on the internet and say anything is wrong. But if a situation happened, Square allows the customer to give their review on the Square app once they get the receipt. So I would see everything, and 95% of the time, it was always a great review.
Yeah.
It was always, I would get at the hookah girls like, yo, y'all can't smoke hookah and you got people coming in. There's no reason why somebody is sitting there. So this is not a lounge, this is a restaurant.
Right.
Now, I changed my restaurant 3 times, right? I went through that crazy phase of it being packed. It can be packed, but ain't nobody spending, right? And it's like, well, damn, it's a restaurant, it's not a lounge. So I made it to where as though you're gonna sit down, right? You're gonna have a $25 minimum fee that you had to spend. That does not include hookah. That has nothing to do with hookah. That's
just with
strictly food. Yeah. And it worked, right? Now I'm starting to see older folks come in, because the Come On My Cal and the Vicky Lowe's, you know, the younger crowd, they're not there no more, because we're not playing that music. Music controls the setting of where you go. So if I'm not playing that hype music, you're not gonna get a hype crowd. There's no reason at the end of the night I'm cleaning up, throw up, or trying to drag somebody with security out of a restaurant.
Right, or even if it's like somebody twerking on the table or doing all types of stuff. Yeah.
Like somebody was skinning on the seats on Saturday. I said, baby, you gotta get down. Cause this is not that energy, right? Like, it's, we're older, you know, and shout out to, you know, to the younger generations, because to me, the younger generations is the ones that's spending right now, right? I don't know where they getting this money from, but they spending, and it's kind of crazy. So it's like, I got so much stuff work behind the scenes of when I drop. When I drop these sweatsuits, I drop these clothes, everything is lined up to, I'm not saying no names, but everything is lined up to the ones that's really running the city. Not even running our city, running the world. Right now, Philly got this shit on the chokehold, right?
Yeah, we got the culture. We are the culture.
We got people doing dances. You got Michelle Obama blicking, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just crazy, right?
It's a beautiful time to be from Philly right now, and even to be a part of it, whether you in the fashion, in the beauty, in the music industry, and any type of form of entrepreneurship, because we used to yearn for this type of moment. Like, I remember years ago, we used to always want that spotlight. And it's like, we never knew what it would look like in the city when we got it, but now this is that. And it's like, now if you're smart and you know how to, you know, capitalize and pivot and work through it, you'll be able to benefit off it. But speaking to you saying the younger generation spending money, you don't think that's accredited to the fact that that's where they at in their life, in terms of like, when we was younger, we spent more money at the club. Now that we older, you understand, like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, it's for marketing and branding purposes, to show love to this owner or whatever the case may be, so they come spend some money with me. But as a young boy, you want that look.
But see, it's different, because back in the day, we weren't catering to black-owned businesses, right? We were going there, American Apparel, getting a alphabet tee, right? We were going to getting polo boots. We were going to Abercrombie. Now you have our culture. You have Fascia Fairs, who got a line wrapped around the corner. You have the Lavellos, who got a line wrapped around the corner. You have Milano, who dropping fire.
Stay humble, stay hungry.
Stay humble, stay hungry. Everybody in the city is really killing the game, whereas though we're coming together and we have our culture buying the stuff, versus back in the day, yo, I need that low tee, right? Or I need these, I need to go to Franklin Mills to go grab these New Balances or something like that. They're trying to cater into us. Now you have, shout out to my brother, you have Air Kai. Me and him did a collab back in 2020, 2020, we did coats. Now he has everybody wearing sneakers, right? It's just you have our culture, us as blacks are supporting each other. But I always say time repeats itself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right now we are in a generation of the Inichis, the Fat Forms, the Fubus, the Moschino, the Jabos, the Sean John, the Rockaware, which are all black designers. But my what I always say is who's gonna last, right?
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, even thinking about just from a Philly standpoint, right? When you say history repeat itself, 12 years ago when we was throwing parties and stuff, like, it was way more united. Like, think about how united the city was. Everybody, you was in your party group, but you can go from South Philly, North Philly, Uptown, Southwest, and if you was popping, and you be cool with all of the top party promoters. When I see the younger generation that's doing all of that got the culture and the chokehold with the TikTok and everything, it's so reminiscent of what we had, and I feel like now we the old heads of the generation. So it's like, we can admire and embrace what they got going on because it's exactly what we was doing 12, 13 years ago versus just 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't think that resonated like that. It wasn't that same, you know what I mean, attachment from us to the younger generation.
So to me, like we said earlier, I think we skipped a generation, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what era I want to say shit went left field from 2011
to 2020.
2020.
I would say 2012, 2020, because I want to say that once that era had came with the drill music and all of that, it just took.
Right. So to me, I'm so happy that I do have a little one, right? And the other day, and he got me together. He was like, well, I want a Humble hoodie. And I'm like, what's that? You know, because I'm been in the restaurant world. I'm like, what's that? He like, it's zip all the way up. So, you know, me going TikTok because that's where kids at. I'm like, you don't want to, I'm like, I get you that. I'm like, you don't want a Benny Peru hoodie? He like, you got to put the young ones in the Benny Peru. That's what we looking at. Mm-hmm. And to have a 10-year-old tell me that, it was just like, all right, let me get back focused, you know. And I got him a Humble hoodie, and you know, he's making his little videos, and I was like, all right, so let me tap back into let me tap back into our culture. But no,
I love the fact that I swear I love the fact that our generation, even us, we still young, right? But we older than the young generation. I love the fact that we willing to endorse them versus, you know what I mean, being separate. You know what I mean? I love the unity, and I feel like, I don't know, this is I can see the direction the city going in, and I'm just happy to be a part of it and be able to witness it. But I want to segue into our segment. It's really called Digging Deep. So I want to segue into our next segment. I want to dig a little deeper within the discussion. So I want to ask some personal questions. One being, would you say you was raised off love or off survival?
I say survival.
Elaborate, like, you know what I mean, on what that look like.
I mean, like, nobody really knows you like you know yourself. So having your own thoughts in your head of how you're going to make this money, how you're going to make this dream come true, whether people don't believe you or not. I mean, granted, my dad gave me tough love, but it wasn't like the love that I thought I needed. Mom, she was in the world on drugs, so couldn't go to her. Mm-hmm. So it was like, at this time, it's just me. I don't have no brothers, I don't have no sisters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how could you get this money, or how could you do, you know, certain shit? I know it's like sitting at a fucking Target computer, filling out an application, praying for them to call you back to get a job or a Cinnabon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was in a dark place by myself for a long time, you know, renting out a room so I won't have to live at home with my parents at 17, or because they didn't agree with me coming home late or something like that. So it's like, it's me. Like, I'm gonna rock out to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? As long as I have a bed to rest my head at, you know, that's why I was kind of happy when I went to college. It was like, damn, I ain't gotta pay rent for like 4 years. I was cooling. But all this shit is a survival. If you don't know, I used to wake up and do pay stubs and resumes. Like, damn, I need to make a $65 sale so I can make sure I'm cool or make it happen. So I always tell people the behind the scenes story of what you said, survival. I used to wake up and do resumes, cover letters, shit like that. You'd be surprised who really can't write a resume.
Right.
And it was really getting people jobs and stuff like that. So it became an everyday thing, and I was doing them for $65 a bundle packet. For me to start this brand, I needed $15,000. Surprisingly, I made all my money off of resumes and pay stubs.
Right.
I got to the point where I got evicted. I lost my car. I had to put my stuff in storage and come back to Philly. I'm like, all right, let me do this pop-up shop and let me see where it'll take me. My pop-up shop was October 29th. I did like some pre-sales. It was starting to really flow. Marketing-wise, I knew Powerhouse and Westchester Homecoming, Cheney Homecoming was all that same weekend. I'm walking in the hallways of Powerhouse, all I see is strings, because that's what I was known for, tassels. I'm like, this shit really moving. This may be something. I was able to sell out that first pop-up shop, get my car back, get a new apartment.
That design, the hoodie with the...
Yeah, with the barcode, right?
I came to that pop-up shop. I remember that joint.
Yeah, you want...
I came with Pimp.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that joint.
And it's like, it's so crazy. It's like, I shortchanged myself because I didn't ever believe I would sell it. I thought me just having a clothing line would be my side hustle. That became my main hustle. I thought in my mind, like, okay, I'm gonna have to get a job to do this. Working at CNN and all that, it was like, okay, you quit that to do what you really love to do. So I say survival.
And all right, I wanted to ask this question. You had, when you spoke about being addicted to the perks and everything, right? And I feel like we was off camera when you said like you was going through a deep depression. I wanted to know, how did you deal with it? And the reason I asked this is because for somebody who might be out there that might be dealing with depression, because like, you know, people might just see your life and don't know that you human and you got real stuff that you go through. So like, what were some of the things you did to deal with that?
It's kind of crazy because I just got out of depression, I want to say like 3 months ago. I don't know, some days I would just wake up and just cry and be like, damn, bro, this shit really, what did I get myself into? Why did I open this restaurant? Because here you have 6 months ago, you had a perfect life, open a store at 12 to 6, boom. It was a rotation, fly to Atlanta, fly to LA. I was about to do a collab with Von Dutch before I broke my leg. That went out the window. Was about to do something with Ethica. That went out the window, all because the leg situation, I couldn't travel. So my mindset is like, damn, all this anger was bottled up because life was about to be at 360 and like really take it there, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, things happen for a reason. I just didn't understand why it happened, and it was like, one day my friend called me, Kiva, shout out to Royal Bouquet Boutique. She's like, yo, stop posting that you're depressed and crying. She's like, motherfuckers want to see that. So when she did that, I ain't crying no more. I just was like, all right, I'm going to body this shit up. Like, I was just like, my beast came out of me. When I was able to walk again, that was another thing. I couldn't walk, right? Here it is, 30 years, now you can't walk. So trying to learn how to walk again, that was the hardest thing ever. And it was like, I used to cry like real bad. So my doctor like, well, you could walk in your boot. But me, my mental was like, no, this shit might break if I put pressure on it.
Yeah.
Bro, when I started walking again, you couldn't tell me shit. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
It was 2.0 Will.
It was a wrap. It was like, I'm back. So I was able to be hands-on, you know. Still depressed, though.
It's crazy because I feel like depression, it don't always linger and just sit there. Sometimes it be sporadic. Like, you might feel good one day, and then the next day you might feel like, you know what I mean, crying or feel like shit or not feel like doing nothing. What I learned from my personal self, how the depression identified with me, is when I got a lack of motivation. Because like when you got a high motor and you know something wrong with you, you get up, you don't want to do something. You're like, something not right. And I never thought that could be depression because I thought it had to be clinically diagnosed, but that's like mild depression, when it's just like you not feeling like your natural and normal self. And I don't know, I guess like, I don't think nobody has the formula or the remedy to just overcome it, but I don't know, I guess I really want to know, like, if you could give like 2 or 3 things that you're like, yo, when I'm feeling like this is something that I did, I know it lifts my spirits instantly. I
prayed a lot. I listened to Kanye's gospel album. Like, I'm not religion, I'm spiritual. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying don't go to church or nothing like that, but I'm very like spiritual. I believe in the spirits that's around me. I believe in good energy that's around me. I always ask a person when I sit down, I'll read you, like study you, and then I'll say, what's your sign, right? Because I know certain signs, we ain't even about to be fake with it. Like I'm very blunt with it, right?
What them signs is though? Because now I want to know.
Pisces, like we hate. Taurus, you know I fuck with Taurus now. I had to learn them. But Capricorns, they like throw it off, but they loyal. But it just be like certain people, I just be like, I can't fuck with it, bro. I'm cool, like, you feel what I'm saying? Because I know my mindset, and I know, like, what are you around me for? Like, I had to learn. Like y'all said earlier, I used to try to please everybody. Like, I had to come to a conclusion, like, not saying fuck everybody, but saying fuck everybody. It was like, I'm cool, like, I ain't.
Yeah. It's like you get rid of that people pleasing syndrome and you kind of just be like, you know what, it ain't fuck everybody, like it's personal. It's like, you know what, I'm not even gonna make it my job to please you. So
I'm not
like,
gonna extra mile.
Yeah, I'm just here. If you fucking with me, you fucking with me. If not, then that's cool. But I can't be on that bend my back to try to, you know, please everybody and make everybody like me. Cause like I had seen a quote that said, just because you're a good person don't mean you have to be a nice person. And I feel like for me it helped me because I never even dissociated the two. It was just like, you know, I don't know. You go through those phases where you feel like, oh, I ain't gonna snap because I don't want to look like a bad person. But snapping, releasing, because certain things be calling for certain type of responses and reactions. Now, never in an immature manner, but sometimes you got to be stern or firm, and you might come off in a mean way, but that don't mean you're a bad person. Would you say you had some of those moments?
I had a lot of those moments in the restaurant. I feel like this. I don't care what you view on this internet. Will Walker will always be Will Walker. I'm not changing for nobody. Mm-hmm. I'm not stopping who I am. I'm not changing how I'm gonna come in talking just like Will. I'm gonna be Will. If I don't be Will, then it's like this other person that y'all see on the Instagram may not be him. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna post what I want to post. It's not politics. I'm not in the fucking White House. I'm just gonna be Will Walker.
Right.
Will Walker is Will Walker. Benny Peru is Benny Peru. But at the end of the day, they view me as one. So there's been times people come into the restaurant and be very disrespectful.
Right.
And I'm like, you can get up. You ain't gotta be here. I'm not putting no gun to you, and you ain't even gotta pay. I want you to leave. I don't even want your money, right? There was a time one of the servers had grabbed a fork. Mind you, the fork was in a pack. She's not really checking the identity, like making sure that it is. Gave it to the lady. The lady was like, I'm confused as though why the fuck you gave me a packet with no fork. So I got off the burner, put the eggs down, and I said, is it an issue? Because I heard it. And she kept ignoring me. Like, so I stopped the music. I'm like, is there an issue? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, it was no reason for you to cuss. I said, if you was at Del Frisco's, you wouldn't have did that. You would have said, hey, you gave me a fork, well, da-da-da-da, without that.
It's a basic mistake.
So she was like, well, I said, miss, you can leave. I don't even want your money. You could really, I'll give you a to-go box and you can leave. Because I feel like this is my home. And you're not going to disrespect me in my home. And I'm not going to make anybody that's my coworker feel like they're unsafe or feel like, because when a coworker feel like somebody's attacking them, it changes the whole dynamics of the work environment. And the person gets an attitude. And it's like, I don't need that, out there on the floor. So it's like, if you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. If you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you back. I don't. That's just how it is. I'm just saying that's just me. I worked in retail.
Yeah.
A lady threw a shoe at me one time, and I flung that shit right back. It's like, you not gonna play with me.
If get your lick back was a person.
Yeah, you're not gonna play with me. And some people say, oh, the customers are always like, no, it's respect at the end of the day.
Respect for sure, 100%.
You respect me, I respect you.
Don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're gonna get into our open discussion. So before we cut to a commercial, I decided to skip my last question, and I want to roll right into the open discussion. And within the open discussion, is way more conversation. It was like you could ask me things, because I even want to ask you if you had questions to ask me, what would they be or whatever. And then there's some things that I'm gonna just put out there for us to openly discuss. So the first thing I want to talk about is just trial and error in life, and like what that look like, and like how people can embrace trial and error as opposed to not wanting to fail.
I look at the old self, my old me, right? Mm-hmm. And I always tell myself that where I'm at this year, I don't want to be where I'm at next year. Now I can go flip side of things or back up. And my field of my career, don't let the internet run you. Mm-hmm. Don't let, the glitz and the glams be like the highlight of, trying to be a career. If I could go back and in 2021 and not buy all this jewelry I would, because I didn't buy a house, right? And it's things that you don't think of when you're in that life.
Would you say it was because, like, you do marketing, you do brand, that's your degree in marketing, right? Would you say it's because you understood that you can't wear your real estate in the club, and for what you was going for, that matched what you was chasing, in a sense?
Yeah, so when I first got my first chain, I always told myself I want to buy my chain with my logo on there, because that's something that I worked hard for. Before chains even came a thing, it was like, I want that, right? But then I started getting all these different businesses. I'm like, well, I'm going to get a chain for this
every business, yeah.
Right? So when I sit back, I'm like, damn, I ain't even get a crib yet, right? Here you have over 100,000 worth of jewelry, but you don't have a crib, right? You don't have no properties.
Do you think you gave yourself that excuse, like, well, I don't gotta buy a crib because I can if I want to? You know, that notion, like.
Yeah, I could say that. I didn't do, as I sit back and think, I wish I would have. I didn't do no loans, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, I felt like God was blessing me so much by people coming and buying. It wasn't no reason for me to do a loan. Thinking back, should I have did a loan? Fuck yeah,
for
right?
Sure.
I should have did a loan and then use that loan to get properties or whatever, but it didn't work out like that. So it's like, I'm at a standstill where it's like, well, damn, I could post a video before the pandemic where I made 40,000 in my sleep off a jacket, right? Before the world changed. But it's like, don't try to fit in. I don't wear my chains no more, right? Yeah. I don't go out.
Right.
I'm back to my hustle, my grind mode. I'm back to the old world. You barely, when you see me in a party, it's because one of my friends is having something that's like, okay, I gotta show love, because I take birthdays very personal, right?
I every year you got a different type of extravaganza.
If you don't come to my shit, if you ain't come to none events throughout the whole year, if you don't come to this birthday party, it's beef. Like it's I get real. It gets deep. But I feel like, don't allow the internet to run you or feel like you're a failure because you don't have what this person have. You don't know behind the scenes what that person went through or what they're doing to get that. I done seen some shit where a motherfucker can have all the glitz and glams, but your area code don't match up with your lifestyle, right?
People ain't even gonna catch that.
Yeah.
You still have to sit a beat on that.
So let me say it again. Your area code needs to match up with your lifestyle. You want to have these crazy cars, you need to live in to me personally.
No, I understand.
You need to live in a good area. You just need to match up your lifestyle. Or don't try to put on that facade up front because you have little ones listening to certain shit and doing certain shit and killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Or not, I'm saying, I don't mean to take that back. Not killing motherfuckers, killing our culture, right?
Right.
So it's like what you see on the internet is what you get, and you try to bring that shit to full life and make it a full circle.
Yeah, and even to piggyback off it, even like when I think about trial and error, it's like one of the things where I realized that like success don't teach us nothing. Like you have never ever did something right and said, what can I do you're just gonna keep doing it. You're gonna duplicate that process because it works, right? But failure teaches us every lesson. So it's like I always say, like if you get an A on the test, you're not gonna look back at that test because you feel like you successfully done it. But if you get an F, you're like, oh, what could I have done differently? Damn, I thought I knew. So I just want people to understand that we want to appreciate trial and error because that's where knowledge could be acquired through reading. You can read about fashion. The wisdom comes from the experience. Like, you can actually teach courses and classes on the shit that you do because you've done it. Versus somebody, like I could read a book about fashion. I'm pretty sure I can articulate myself well enough to sound knowledgeable. But as somebody coming from the experience part where it's like, nah, like I know what to do when a manufacturer is doing this. I know what to do when a shipment get held up. I know how to handle a sellout when I sell out faster than I know how to deal with this because I've done it. So now you getting this experience, which comes with this, what makes it wisdom. So trial and error gives us that wisdom, but so many people would be afraid of failure because they don't want to look like a failure. Like they're afraid. And what I learned too is it'd be one or two people that somebody might alter their whole life to not offend or to not get look. When you think about posting, it's never the 60,000 followers you got. It's 5 people that might be. You be like, damn, if I post this person gonna think that or this person. So I don't want like a failure to these 5 people. You got these half of 10 people fucking governing your whole life and all your decisions.
That's what I'm saying. It be certain times I be want to post. First of all, I'm never waking up beefing with nobody with no fucking food and liquor, right?
Right.
If your restaurant do what it do, kudos to you, right? But I feel like in our culture, everybody wake up sometimes with this, and I catch it, wake up with this, oh, my restaurant gonna be better. I don't give a fuck about that, bro.
Right.
If I'm waking up, making a certain amount, for the restaurant, that's cool. As long as the food is selling, we don't have no more in stock, that's all I'm worried about. But to beef with my culture about who restaurant is better, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, that don't make sense. And then think about it like this, like how many can your restaurant seat?
So
if
when
you pack it all the way out.
34.
34 people.
Right.
So you got to fill 34 seats. So even if you wanted to service the whole 1.7 million that in Philly, you couldn't. So it's like, if we understood that we can't even serve in Atlanta, listen, I'm gonna tell you a brief story. A dude in Atlanta, I had started a transportation company. I was doing the chauffeur service, and he had reached out to one of my homies and was like, "Yo, your man advertisement came up. Get him on a call." So I'm confused. I'm still got a Philly. I can say Philly mindset because I always had a different mindset, but I'm not used to this. So when he reached out, I don't understand what the conversation about to be about because I'm like, "What do you want to talk to me for?" So we get in the Zoom. He asked me to introduce myself. He's, "I'm gonna just tell you." He ain't asked me, so I'm gonna just tell you. Down here we do collaboration over competition. He said, "We can't service everybody, neither can you. So what we gonna do is when we got too many trips booked, we gonna send them to you, and when you got too many trips booked, you gonna send them to us. They not gonna know that they not dealing with the company they booked with, but we gonna be in contact and we're gonna spread the money." I've never had nobody approach. It wasn't even a suggestion. It was almost like a demand in a sense, but it was so respectable that the approach changed my life. So I looked at it like, yo, why people look at it like, oh, if your brand got 100 people buying it, like these people can't spend money over here too. Like it don't make sense to me.
People mindset is like crab in a barrel, right? So there's been plenty of times that I can pull up videos. I always say if I'm sold out, go to StockX, go to DF4, go to Pray for Fashion. Just saying other brands because I wear their stuff, right?
Yeah, everybody got some dope stuff.
So if I'm sold out, just go there. Or like I said, me and Nas was about to do a collab. Me and DF4 was about to do a collab, but it never really like locked in. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm not people aren't used to shit, right? It ain't no other way of saying it, right? People are not used to things, and it changes the mindset. And sometimes I had to learn, whereas though I can't always go on the internet and lash out if something don't go my way,
right.
Or because I remember I have celebrities following me,
right.
And I feel like, well, I can't work with him because he's difficult. You
right,
feel what I'm saying? So certain things I be on my phone about to type, and then I be like,
you know what I do when I gotta have those moments? I go to my notes and I type whatever I was going to say, and I just never post it, or I never respond. Even if it's a text, I never send it because you want to release it. You don't want to hold it in, but everything ain't meant to be sent because you can't take it back once you say it. But to your point, even about the mindset and even it being crabs in a barrel, I feel like we in a prime spot right now as the leaders, like as in the culture, right? Like for what I do, I'm a leader. For what you do, you're a leader in what you do. We got so much influence to where though we really can shift the narrative just by having simple conversations. Like literally things can be shifted. The whole culture that we talk about can be shifted with conversations, and people just come in with humility. I'm not gonna say be humble. I'm gonna say have humility, because humble is like that sense of like belittling yourself, where the humility is like understanding who you are but being humble enough to know like, all right, like I don't have to walk around, or no, it's enough for all of us. So I feel like we can change the culture to starting with our city, and then I feel like Philly is influential. I don't know how other people feel about it, but I feel like when we do stuff, everybody else do it. Like even if somebody did it before us and we made it Philly and did it better, when they spent the block, they did it the way we did it. And I feel like with us having so much influence, we don't have to look to no other city for any influence, because we literally are the most influential city, I feel like, in the country. And I don't care how nobody feel about that. I really feel like that.
I feel like that too. It's just like you see it. People wake up with this. Matter of fact, scratch that. I had went to a dinner. Shout out to DJ A-Book.
Seen that.
Went to a dinner, and I didn't know what I was walking myself into. Went to a dinner. We had several club owners there. I walk in, I'm like, they're like, oh, we're here. You finally here. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm thinking we about to just chill at because it was at the casino.
Yeah.
But like, order what you want. I'm like, all right, order something out there. I was about to pay for it. He was like, no, it was on us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let me get a little lamb, macaroni and cheese,
I want
stuffed
lamb,
chicken.
yeah.
We was going around the table, telling, basically giving each other our flowers. And I'm like, you don't really see that, right?
That's heavy.
So you have every club lounge that's popping, you have everybody at the table, and we just talking, and it's like, Me and PC, we go way back.
He one of them ones to be
Right.
around. He one of them ones.
And I'm like, I'm giving him flowers. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's so crazy now we throwing popcorn in the fucking club and we happy, run your movie. So when you say run your movie, I was the first motherfucker saying run your movie, no commercial, right? We're gonna run our movie. So he was like, I was like, you got that from me? He was like, I ain't get that from you, I got that from, he pointed to a homie. I'm like, bro, then you know you got that shit from me, bro. But it was like a laugh off things like, if you really want it, go get an LLC, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, just to be around, it acknowledges that, men can come together and everybody not for in the whole. Everybody can eat, everybody can make money, everybody can, just enjoy the Philadelphia culture.
I'm telling you, bro. And we in this here, and even I'm gonna just keep saying the same thing. No matter how big somebody's lounge is, they bar, they club, the population here is we got a large city. We're one of the largest cities. You see what I'm saying? And we got one of the largest black communities, like in one of the largest populated cities. So with that being the case, it's like we got more than enough for us to all service and satisfy. Because if you want to keep referring to Atlanta, people go to 4 spots in one night. And the owners be with the owners at the other owner's spot spending money. We literally, you know what I mean?
The thing is, it's starting to be like that. So I plan Sunday Funday, right? And anybody I'm with, they know when I'm with security shake his head because he know we about to go on a tour. Sunday Funday, our first stop, we're gonna go to BP restaurant. We're gonna leave BP restaurant, we're gonna go to 1212 Tasties. From Tasties, we're gonna go to Spades. From Spades, we're gonna go to Biblos. From Biblos, we're gonna go to Playroom. From Playroom, we're gonna go to Crown and we're gonna enter a night. So we're gonna be in we leave out the fucking club. It's like 7, 8 in the morning, right? But everybody know we about to do a world tour, and we all see each other.
Yeah.
Like you'll see Tasties in them, and they come. All right, we about to go here. All right, where we about to go? And it's like we keep going, and we just. One Sunday I had the fucking time of my life. This was when I needed a break, right? And I was working, and my friends like, Will, just stop. You don't. Really, I'm like, I don't need the money, but it's like the money coming in. Like, bro, you got to take a break. I woke up that Sunday, I'm like, all right, I ain't know what the fuck it is. I'm like, I was so out the loop, I'm like, where do everybody go? We went to Tasties, I done had like 8 lemon drops. They like, it's a new place called Crown. I've never been to Crown, right?
I keep hearing about that joint. Where that joint at?
I mean, not Crown, Spades.
Yeah, Spades.
Never went to Spades.
Where that joint at?
It's on Lancaster, 45th and Lancaster.
Yeah, because I keep hearing about that joint.
Went there. The outside looked like, I'm like, well, hold the fuck up. I'm like, y'all got me walking in with this jewelry on and we on fucking Lancaster. Bro, when I walked in the door, that shit it felt like it was in Atlanta and Houston. It felt like it was a club. Went in there, I'm like, I know you fucking lying. The owner showed so much love. I look up on the screen, they got a picture of me on there. Like, Space Love Baby Peru. I'm like, wow. So I got a question for you, right? Being for your Sag and your hands is tied and everything. I want to know what happened with, the TED.
Yeah.
Why y'all don't do, those shows no more? You was dealing with music. Why you stopped rapping? Where are you at with your artists?
Okay. Yo, it's crazy, right? Because it seems like Undefined been coming up so much lately. I even I had hit up Tiz the other day. I was like, yo, we might have to do an Undefined movie because too many people mentioned it. But the reason it stopped, it was so many different dynamics. So like, for one,
real quick, who was the person in the teddy bear? I always wanted to know.
Michio.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Michio. And it's
Wow.
yeah. So people ain't even know that, but that was just like I seen that he was funny before people. You know what I mean? And the tag, it was marketing for me. So I was like, all right, like. This was around like when Instagram comedy was just kind of becoming a thing because we just started being able to record videos on our Instagram. You remember before you could just post pictures. And we used to call him cousin. We didn't really call him Michio until later, but we used to call him cousin. I knew he was funny. And I came up with the tag concept because I'm like, yo, we need something that's going to draw attention to us when we out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you might as well just. First, I thought about a different type of animal. It wasn't going to be a teddy. I don't remember what animal it was, but it wasn't a teddy bear. But then I ended up going on, like, it might have been Amazon or whatever website I looked, and I seen it. I said, no, this is going to be it. Your name going to be Cousin Ted because we called him Cousin. And we're like, you're just gonna be an urban teddy bear. You're gonna be moving around with us. The way Undefined came, because before we did Undefined, we tried another show. It was called Welcome Home, Cousin Ted. We only did a pilot for it or whatever. Dev Camera had shot it, but that fell through because it really wasn't that. It wasn't that. We knew that we needed something a little better, so we started hanging around. I don't know if you remember Lil Amber. She was a Vine. She was Vine famous. She went by Princess Am. So she came around, she started hanging with us or whatever. So next thing you know, me being Nasty Nah, we got Cousin Ted, we got Princess Am. I'm like, damn, what's the way we can combine all of our platforms? Because I'm like, he doing Instagram comedy, I'm doing music. She getting into music, but she more so Vine famous. So I said, yo, I'm gonna just come, we gonna do a show, it's gonna be called Undefined. So we was really winging it. Like, I'm not gonna act like it was like some shit that I really knew was gonna be what it was gonna be. I just knew that she got a lot of Vine attention. I had a crazy Twitter following, and he was doing what he was doing on Instagram or whatever. And we started the show, long story short, and by the episode 1, Twitter was rolling on it. By episode 2, I started being strategic, like, oh, this shit really could be something. So I started looking for more. I started bringing in people, brought in Who Mayor, brought in Tiz, Funniest in Philly. I started connecting with all of the Instagram comedians, and next thing you know, we had ourselves a whole production and a show. The reason they kind of fell apart was because Michiho and Amber used to argue, right? And they argue like brother and sister though. It was never like no real argument. So that was normal to us. But our production guy, the dude that was doing the camera, he was a good friend of mine still to this day. He white or whatever the case may be. And like, you know, they background come up a little different. So like when they seeing like certain things, like he was way more ahead of something that I understand now that I didn't understand then. So right. I'm gonna tell you what it was. Michio had called her a bitch, or whatever the case may be, right? But they always argued in that manner. So me being me, we in a group chat full of a bunch of people. When I pull them aside, I don't say nothing to them in the chat. I pull him aside, I say, yo, you can't do that. You gotta apologize, whatever the case may be. He did apologize to her. But Rob was like, she was disrespected in the group chat. He wanted me to say something in the group chat, whatever the case may be. I didn't understand that whole, you know what I mean? At that time, I'm a kid, essentially. And he just said, yo, I ain't shooting this joint no more. So we had made it, and then Amber was quitting every other day. Michio was quitting every other day. So trying to manage that type of set where everybody live going in different directions, I felt like it was something that we let go that we could always come back to. The music thing for me was, I honestly think that when I changed my life around and got out the streets, me as a rapper, the streets was my identity. Feel me? So I always tell people I got burnt out, but in reality, and this is my first time even articulating this in this way and understanding why I even stopped doing it. I didn't know what my identity would have been as a rapper when because I'm talking about this. This is what I live. I'm not living this no more, so what I'm gonna talk about. So I hadn't experienced entrepreneurship and all these other things that would have gave me a different perspective to speak from. So that's kind of where I let the music thing go. But as far as in me getting into management and then where I'm at with that, I personally wouldn't be a manager no more, do the everyday data. I've been in this business for so long, I ain't doing the day-to-day activity stuff no more. But as far as in like what I see for artists, I feel like I just want to be what I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? What?
I don't think just by me knowing you, or it's like you a young Diddy, right? I don't think you should let go of managing artists. I just don't. Like, as that was going on a rise. You ever watch Kanye documentary?
Yeah, I did.
Right? I watched that shit like 3 times and I cried.
That
right?
doing all that.
I cried because I felt his hunger. Like with me, I felt hunger. When I was dropping clothes or trying to get a manufacturer, nobody would help, right? It was like a secret. It was like a pass, like a fucking social security card, right? Yeah. Nobody wanted to give the plug. Once I got it, I said, listen, you're gonna take over this shit so crazy, don't know how, don't know the time frame, but you're gonna take it over, right? I never thought that I would have $1 million company, right? Never, right? I never thought that I would go through all this, meet these people, meet celebrities. Fuck all that. I never thought I'd be sitting in Diddy's house fucking cooking bacon with Tiana during Super Bowl weekend. I never thought that. I never thought me being in his kitchen and we toasting. Mind you, I don't even drink the shit that they drink, right? But I'm toasting and that shit made me, I was going home and Dej Loaf was driving us home. She drove me home. I was in the back crying, right? Yeah. Cause I'm like, yo, this happened all because of fucking clothes, right? And Fern Miles is the creator of New York Fashion Week. She got in my ass real bad. She said she loved my coat. She said, what's next? Me personally, I just was gonna do coats. I was gonna, like Montclair, I was gonna come out every winter and just drop coats. She's like, no, you're very talented and I see your vision, but what can you do besides that? So I started doing clothes. I started doing jeans. I started doing dog clothes. I knew that I had something great. Right now, I haven't dropped in 6 months. When I posted I'm dropping fucking trucker hats, my DMs went crazy. The people are still waiting. I had that audience. For me to do a pop-up shop and to walk in and I got a line around the corner in New York, it's crazy to me, right?
No, that's
I got people sitting in lawn chairs as if this is a Jordan release, right?
Yeah.
And that shit made me feel so powerful. So just like 2 weeks ago, I cried, let this shit out. I'm like, damn, bro, you gotta tap back into clothes because I never really looked at it. Yeah, you're trying to be an entrepreneur, but one sweatsuit is 5 platters, right? So if I could sell a sweatsuit for $160 and I'm selling $25 platters, you ain't really making that much labor. So this go round, when I said I was getting back into the hookah business, I'm not doing a restaurant. Food is optional. If I choose to have a chef in there, or not even a chef, as a line cook, because I only sell wings and fries and tacos. I'm not cooking no lamb and none of that Alfredo shit. So it's like never take something that's golden. To me, that was golden, right?
Yeah.
You used to say, yo, bro, can you do? And I don't post videos for nobody.
Yeah.
You be like, bro,
I still got the job.
right? Like, I was at Krispy Kreme and I'm pulled over and Dylan, like, we leave. I'm like, Dylan, let me just try to remember this song was for
Right back.
Snoop, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, let me try to.
No, you did a joint for me too when I was a rapper, right back, and then you did Caribbean joint for Snoop.
Right, I'm like, let me try to learn these lyrics real quick and make a 5-second joint. If I'm mumbling or the song is playing, I'm driving in the car. But it's like it was something that was there. I feel like me looking on the outside world, I felt like those that was around you was solid and golden, right?
Yeah.
To me, honestly, I'm Jay-Z and Mick. Why I say this? Because I'm gonna put business. I'm gonna have a business mindset.
Yeah.
I'm not coming in here over what it could do. If it don't make sense, I'm not doing it. You have multiple businesses. It just doesn't lead to one thing or what you're known for. Okay, Will Walker is known for clothes. Now Will Walker is known for the best hookah in the city. Now Will Walker is known for the best burrito tacos in the city.
Like you got the brand, you're gonna do whatever you can. You're gonna maximize and you're gonna monetize every aspect of it.
Right. So I'm not just gonna box myself in. I see sometimes when Philly may have the best designers from 1 through 20. Don't put me on that shit because you can't put me on something where as though I have. Selling out in Japan, I'm selling out in Europe, I'm selling out in Australia, I'm selling out in London. I'm actually walking in London Fashion Week. My name is actually inducted into New York Fashion Week. Not saying, oh, I'm gonna do a fashion show, it's gonna be a side of New York Fashion Week and I want you to attend. No, it's you gotta know your resume and your caliber and what you stand for. So just because I'm not gonna say it's a certain rapper that DM'd me and I DM'd him way before I blew up and he read it. You spent the block. Now I'm saying you can click the link in the bio. Oh no, I don't buy clothes. I don't sell my clothes for free.
Right.
There's a difference, right?
Yeah, right.
So you got to know your caliber. And I'm gonna the same way you feel as an artist. I'm gonna feel as a designer. Like I'm gonna keep that shit stamped.
Even like to your point, like I be looking at the same thing. Like when you do so much and you get everything you do, is like I never understand putting us up against each other as far as making these lists and all that. Because at the end of the day, we should be thinking bigger than the city. You just talked about worldwide reach. Is nothing to talk about. If everybody's mindset was let's take over the world, nobody will worry about what the next person doing down the street. And I think that's something that I want to encourage. And to your point about me I'm never ever going to detach completely from the music. I just think my role as a manager, I won't do the day-to-day things, but I do know that I have to stay involved with entertainment. The things that I'm doing right now, even in this Wolf Network, is to keep me a part of the culture, to give my platform to the up and coming, and then even be able to find different creative ways to be able to, do different things, that's different forms of entertainment, maybe throw some different events or whatever the case may be to still tap into the music culture, but just running around with the artists and stuff, clubbing and all of that. I think I gotta mentally get back to that because I lost my nephew. He was one of my artists. I lost him to gun violence, and like that turned me completely away. Like literally, like to the point where it was like I was damn near disgusted with music. And it ain't that like it was music that did it. It just for me, it was just like that. Listening to him rap and all that, that was like that gave me my drive back because I was like, damn, like now I could go hard on the music behind him, like how I would have went for myself. So if I ain't gonna give an artist that energy, I don't want to waste their time as a manager.
You gotta see yourself as quality control, right? how, you know, little baby, you know, may have been in the streets, but that manager or that person behind it, like, listen, you ain't gotta do that no more. Either you do this, or you do that, right? So when people come around me, I'm like, listen, you will fuck with me or you don't fuck with me at all.
You ain't no one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, I don't want no drugs around me.
Exactly.
If that's how you make your money, then you gonna make your money there. Don't bring that shit around me.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
killing everything I'm working on.
Right, so it's like, I'm gonna make sure, anybody around me, I'm gonna make sure we eat. I'm gonna make sure we are good, right? But you just gotta listen to me and know that I got you.
100%.
So there has been a time where as though I knocked the whole restaurant down in January and we wasn't making shit. We was making money up in karaoke, but downstairs because nobody could sit in. And these two girls, it's crazy, we was sitting there crying. I'm like, man, I'm frustrated. They like, yeah, we frustrated too, but we rocking out with you. The day that I reopened up, I had took Dylan somewhere. I ran out the restaurant real quick. I'm like, damn, it's 9 o'clock. Ain't nobody coming here yet. This probably was a waste of my time.
I seen you post that.
I came back in the restaurant. That shit was nowhere to sit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I seen you post that.
Right? So God told me to knock this down, knock it down. When I rebuild it and I came back in, I'm like, they were like, yo, this joint lit right now. So I'm like, yeah, like. And it's like we had people from Harrisburg, New York come out. It was just like, yo, this shit is crazy. So I took the mindset of having a lounge mindset, you know, where people really lounge around, don't really gotta spend because it's a lounge, to doing reels, to making, because if a restaurant be known for what you're known for, making videos of salmon Alfredo or barbecue chicken or macaroni and cheese to get the illusion so folks that come in and say, well, we saw this on TikTok, we saw this on this reel.
You're selling them the lifestyle now.
And it actually works. So it's like,
to your point, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm processing as you're saying everything, and you're right, like, cause I definitely gotta be able to cause I see myself as that, like that's who I am naturally, right? Like I've been hearing the Diddy references since I was a kid throwing parties, and I was actually referencing Diddy as my party titles and different shit like that. But it's like, I think I just had to take a step back and go on that mental hiatus to be able to re-enter that world with the same passion, because like I told you off camera, like if I gotta be passionate about something to put my energy into it. And if I'm not, then I won't do it. But I don't know, man. I feel like this one of them discussions that I want to have all night if possible, because it's such a good conversation. But I know that you being a busy man that you is, I don't want to hold you up too long. And I really just want to take this time to give you your flowers and let you know, for one, first of all, I appreciate you always come to my birthday parties. I appreciate the birthday gifts. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate what you do for the culture. I'm not even going to just say the city, because to me, I view your brand as bigger than that. And like you, even though it's crazy how we met on conflict in a sense, but now we ended up being good friends 13 years later, to where as though I really look at you, like even when you was going through your stuff and I hit you up and you was like, yo bro, I'm glad you reached out, like I feel like I really look at you like one of my friends, whether we talk every day, we don't hang in the same social circles, but you really is somebody I look at like a friend, and you always been a friend to me. Like you said, whether you was listening to my songs and promoting it for me and doing little stuff, giving me clothes or whatever, or giving me this, even to the point where I was buying your clothes and it was like, all right, you will show me love, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna spend some money with you. So I just want to give you a flower and let you know, bro, you one of a kind, you a genius. I respect your hand in marketing and branding and fashion, as an entrepreneur, as a hustler, and as a man, you know what I mean? And I just want to make sure I let you know that to your face, that like what you're doing is different, and I'm happy to say I know you. You know what I'm saying?
That.
For sure. You know what I mean? So it was good having you here, bro, and appreciate you taking the time to come down.
Thank you, my guy.
Always, we tapping out. Deuce. We come back, we're going to get into the Ask Wolf segment.
Hey, yo, what's up, your man, Will Walker, Young Will I Am. We are right here on the couch with the Wolf Network. You can follow me at Benny Pooh Restaurant, BennyPooh.com, or you can follow me at Benny Pooh Radio Nights, and I'm out of here.
What's your take on people choosing their spouse over family?
I don't think that it should ever be a or thing. I think it should be an and thing, because if this is somebody that you're building a life with, then they become family too, because this is somebody you're going to be building your immediate family with. I think that there has to be some type of understanding and a line of respect that has to be created and boundaries that have to be created for the family to respect your spouse and for the spouse to respect the family. But your spouse should come first, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because like I said, the spouse is somebody that's gonna help parent your children. Your spouse is somebody that's gonna be your teammate, that's gonna go through all of your ups and downs, your trials and tribulations, and all the things that you're gonna face in your life. So it wouldn't even make sense. Like I said, they should run parallel, they should never intersect. But it wouldn't even make sense to put your family before your spouse when your spouse is somebody you're gonna be literally in bed with everything that you do. So coming first doesn't necessarily mean if you got one life jacket, who gets it, because come on, we're adults here, and that's just not realistic. But it's more so like you gotta be conscious of, you know, the things that might affect your spouse, because y'all are one, y'all are unison, y'all are united. And you also gotta be, you know, just aware of the different dynamics that go into the relationship itself. Where though with family, it's like you might not see your family for months at a time. You might not talk to them every day. They might not be involved in every aspect of your life, but they're still family. But when you pick a partner, this person is your partner with every decision, from finances to sex to parenting to lifestyle to spirituality and religion, and you know, just whatever that future might look like. So you almost have to prioritize your spouse, or why would they be your spouse? What's going on with the Wolf? And I would like to take this time to personally thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Couch. First of all, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all if y'all made it this far, because that means that you got a lot of valuable information that was given today. And if you enjoyed it, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. But I don't want you to just leave a plain comment. I want to actually see you engage. So if you've seen something that you liked and you would like us to further discuss it, then open up the discussion in the comments. If you see something that we didn't discuss that you wish we would have went into, then make sure you leave that in the comments as well, because each week we want to bring you guys fresh new content, but we also want to hear you and give you a voice so that we can give you what you want. So follow us on Instagram at wolfnetwork.wse, add us on YouTube at wolfnetwork, follow me at wolfwse, and make sure you check out our guest and continue to follow him along his journey. That's it, man. The Wolf has spoken. Wolf Network, we out.